Welcome. This is Potatoes Gang, and today, subject, everybody's lip is playing with it, Amotekun. It's really a very simple initiative that is based on the fact that the first law of life is security. People have to ensure that they are safe. In the event of feeling unsafe, groups of people, groups of states get together and they create an initiative. And they say, this is how we secure our territory. Somebody, somewhere says, sorry, red card. Well, first of all, does that person have the authority to say a red card? Who interprets the law in this country? And what is Amotekun? I'd like to begin with a very personal engagement on this matter. Many years ago, I led a group from the South-South, appointed by South-South governors, to look at the economic development strategy for the region. It led to the founding of what was called the Breeze Commission. And we found that we had good followers in what became the Dawn Commission. And the first CEO, Makiwa, always talked about my thoughts and how he loved that, how we could implement from those lessons. Now, one of the things I had often hoped for was that we will come to what more or less the Dawn Commission has come to, Amotekun. How do we take this progress and move forward from there?
Easy, Prof. And may the soul of Famakiwa rest in peace. The Dawn Commission is not what the average Nigerian knows. Not just security, economic emancipation, and the fact that we wanted to remove ourselves from the poverty trap. Absolutely nothing wrong in that. Received economies take that. Amotekun simply is looking at the leopard in all its ramifications and saying, don't toy with the leopard. I remain in my habitat. But if you come and start to poach and do things, one that begins to take life, banditry, kidnapping, people killed virtually everywhere, and then in the Southwest. In fact, the politics was now getting to a situation where the populace were accusing their governors of being lackluster or lame duck. Pronouncements were made at different times is in public space that we are going to try and do something. Okay. The initiative is such that we don't want the likes of Papa Shoroti, just using him as an example, to lose a first child, a promising first child. And that the only thing that the state has given him is commiseration. And since then, nobody has been brought to book. Basically because the security forces have been stretched, have not been trained. Intelligence, policing has not done the needful. And then these people now then came. Even if you felt that some process has not taken place, I am at a loss. That we have an APC government with majority being APC cannot get together and do what is right. After all, it was done in the north with Hezbollah.
From a legal point of view, what's the problem with a group of states collaborating to get things done?
Well, thank you very much. I think there's been a lot said about the illegality of Amotekun. I think probably the pinnacle of that came from the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister for Justice, Malami. who came out and said it was illegal. In the first place, we have to ask a question whether it takes the Attorney General to declare legality of anything. I would have thought if the federal government thought something was illegal, they should go to court. It is for the court to declare whether something is legal or not the Attorney General. It doesn't interpret the law, so that is pure and simple. But be that as it may, why would anybody think Amotekun is illegal? The argument, pretty banal in my view, has been that, look, the Constitution of Nigeria, Section 214 precisely, gives the power over security to the police. That is a fact. You can't run away from that. But nowhere does that provision say that organized security is exclusively a province of the police. If that were the spirit and the intention of the founders of the Constitution, they would have specifically said so. So the word exclusivity, number one, does not appear in that particular provision. That's number one. Number two, let's even assume that, as it's been interpreted today, that only the police can do the security in the state. My view is slightly different from that in the sense that I look at the Constitution, which for any lawyer we call it the ground norm, which is the highest law of the land. And you ask yourself a question, who gives the Constitution its own legality? Is the people. And I think probably the peak of any government in the world today would be UN Charter, which we adopted in 1945 after the bloody war that we fought, the Second World War for that matter. If you open the UN Charter, the first thing you see is that we, the people, it's we. That is the foundation of any constitution. So whether you mention it or not. So what does that mean in clear language? Nigerians came together and gave themselves a constitution and then assigned roles to people to execute on their behalf.
Agency function.
Thank you very much, sir. And that is what I call a contractual theory. It's a contract. The Constitution is a contract between the Nigerian people and the Nigerian state. That as an individual, I have an inherent right to protect myself. But in the interest of collectivity, I'm surrendering this power to the police to do on my behalf. By necessary implication, if you fail to do that, that power automatically reverts to me.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as ABC.
Yes.
So even if you say that the police is the only that could do it, but that is on a contractual basis. But the simple question anybody rational or reasonable should ask is, what if the police doesn't work? So what? The inability of the police to protect me does not nullify my own right to protect myself. So I'm saying constitutionally, nothing is obvious in the that says you cannot. Let me even stretch it a bit further. We have the Administration of Justice Act in Nigeria, 2015. Section 20 says every Nigerian has a right to arrest a criminal and then turn that person over to the police. So as a Nigerian, I have a right to assist the police. So if I can do it individually, why can't that come collectively under whatever nomenclature, Amotekun, Amote anything, and say this power that I can do as a Nigerian individually, I want 20 of us to do it collectively to help the police, as that same provision gives me.
Including giving intelligence information.
Precisely.
That you know that is going to make the police.
So as far as I'm concerned, the whole argument about legality or not should not even have arisen in the first place. Not the least because it came from a very wrong quarter. That is the AGF of the Federation, which we have to make it very clear. The Attorney General should understand clearly where its authority in terms of the province of the law is concerned.
When Amotekun was declared illegal, it forced me to look at the Constitution properly for the first time. And suddenly I realized that for a long time, the assumptions we were making for some long... First, I looked at the second chapter, which says the directive principles. A key phrase, or one of the I can't remember section 14 or something, that it says security and welfare is the responsibility of government. You see, all along, I've been thinking it meant federal government. The Constitution deliberately leaves it government. It doesn't say federal government. That's a key point. And what is government? Government is to provide security. So Lagos, every state government has that responsibility. Now, when you move from there to another key area, Section 33, fundamental rights, it says it very clearly. right of life. So that in itself supports Amatekun's move. Then when you also go to, I think 34, even goes further. I was surprised to see, it says that, in other words, where, you could go and read it carefully. It says, where a people is being enslaved or led to servitude, they should resist. I think the Attorney General is like anything else, is really misleading the president. Because like Governor Fayemia said, they are keen into the government's so-called, the federal government's community policing agenda. And Amotekun, it's community policing in action.
Yeah, I think it's particularly interesting to make the point that Professor Wole Soyinka made not too long ago, that, he was giving up on these governors. And then the governors finally began to behave. That is the truth of the matter. The governors responded to pressure from the people. This is a people's movement. And that's where Nigeria should begin to get to. In the face of this, it is important for us to ask some basic questions. The question is, how do we make sure that we get these, if you will, irritations about it out of the way and face the real business of giving security to our people? Because the poverty that we experience, which is very, very important, is significantly a function of this absence of security. People are not investing to make things grow, develop, have jobs for the people. They say, tiger by the tail. Don't touch the tiger by the tail. But our society has allowed not just the tiger, the leopard's tail, and every tail that can get angry to be touched. Yes. So how do we respond to this tail-touching business? We'll be right back.
When the government is seen that way, it will be reduced. We don't want people that just...
For me, Amotekun, as conceived by Western Nigeria, I feel it's something that is popular. It's popular when you see the groundswell of activities. You know that it's popular within the Southwest region. But I think that what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. Just like Femi Falana said, we may still need to carefully spell out its operational guidelines and the legal framework for it, so that it really come and have a fundament and really stay well. It will have a root, it will have a foundation that will not just pack up. So it's essential. It's something that will help, put an end to kidnapping, banditry, violent attack by marauders on Southwest highways. It is important that we quickly nip that in the bud, particularly after the maiming of the daughter of Yoruba leader, Fashionati. That was really sad, and it could have been anybody. And so many of it has happened, like the woman and husband that were taking the bush and the rest. So we need to curb this. It's a spontaneous and popular reaction of Western Nigerian people, the Yoruba people, and it is welcome. But however, what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. We still need well-spent operational guidelines and legal framework to really entrench this, consolidate this euphoria. It's important that we have that, so that we have something that is sustainable.